Okay, this is my entry into the urban legends tale. Um, this urban legends tale happened when I lived in Michigan, and to this day the father of the young girl claims it was a true event. I wrote the story last week, but wasn't quite sure of some of the dates, so I had to contact some of the people in Warren and ask them. Okay, gotta use my glasses to read with, so. Okay, I was born in the little town of Warren, Michigan. And this event took place over close to 17 years ago. It was the end of September. And many of the people claim the events are true, and I'm convinced. I've always been a believer in this story. Okay, it happened on a rainy night in Michigan. A man had been coming home from his job and had noticed a young boy sitting on a bench by the bus stop in front of Mount Auburn Cemetery, and the poor kid was soaking wet, and he normally didn't pick up hitchhikers, so he went past the boy and got down the road a little bit and thought about it. The boy had missed the bus, the very last bus, so he turned the car around and pulled up in front of the bus stop and asked the boy where he was going, and the boy said that he was going to visit a girl that he had met who lived in Warren. Well, the man lived in Warren, so he said, well, let me give you a lift, and I'll take you as close as I can to her house. And he said, do you have the address? And the boy said, let me check, and he reached in his pocket and pulled out a wet, crumpled piece of paper that he had wrote the address on. He didn't know the girl's name. He had just met her. In fact, he had met her a few weeks before then, and she said she couldn't give him her name yet because her dad was very strict, and she was worried. So when she called, she told him, she said, well, this is my address. If you want to come over and meet my parents, come on over. Well, the boy missed the bus, so it was getting late when the guy picked him up, and the boy gave him the address. Well, the man said, are you sure the address is right? He said, because that's my address. And when he looked at the paper, the ink had smeared, run from the rain, and so he said, I'll tell you what, he said, I'll take you over to the house, and he said, and you can describe the girl to my wife. He said, she's involved in the community, and she knows the kids in the neighborhood, and she would probably know the girl because it's my street. So they got to the man's house, and he came inside and was describing the girl to the man's wife. And while he was doing so, he looked over at some pictures that were on the fireplace mantle, and he said, there she is right there, and he pointed to a young girl in the picture. Well, the mother turned completely white, and she said, that can't be true. It just can't be true. And he said, well, yes it is. He said, well, the father asked him, well, where did you meet her? And he said, well, we were both waiting for the bus stop. We were at the bus stop right where you picked me up tonight. And the man said, when did you say this happened? He said, well, a few days ago, maybe a week. And the man said, something's wrong. He said, because that picture, that girl you pointed to is my daughter, Amanda, and she was killed 17 years ago. In fact, she was killed in front of that very cemetery waiting for the bus to come home. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.